Welcome to another edition of Bowie TV's Youth, Community, and Lifestyle. During this hour, we're bringing you highlights from some of our shows focused on youth, community, and lifestyle. Please be sure to give us a follow on all of our social platforms. First up on How to Sing Your Dreams, dive into the excitement of the 2025 DMV Ocean Bowl Games tournament. Next on the Spotlight DMV, real estate guru Eze Okwodu talks facing adversity on this part 2. Finally, on the Hair Kytchen, we take a look at the sit-down with artist Larry Poncho Brown, where he discusses what motivates his work on this last part. Thank you for tuning into this week's programming of Bowie TV's Youth, Community, and Lifestyle.
Roaming the halls of Ocean Bowl 2025, you never know who you're going to run into. Like, for instance, I just ran into Jay, our lovable mascot, and I've run into our champions of the Baltimore 2025 Ocean Games, but like 2/3 of XPG. So please introduce yourselves and tell me how you've been enjoying yourself or what you've been doing since the last time I saw you.
Hello, I am Josiah Green, and I am having so much fun so far.
What's your favorite event so far?
Even though we haven't really gone to that part yet, I like science.
Okay.
And engineering.
Okay. And your name and what's your favorite thing so far?
My name is Eze Smith. My favorite thing so far probably math hoops because it's one of the games that's actually challenging to me. So I like it, and I also like the tournament. Really, it's pretty good.
Okay, so are you trying to go for a repeat of your win from last time?
I mean, we'll try. We'll try.
Like, do you see any competition so far? Anybody that you're worried about and think like might give you a little bit of trouble?
To be honest, no.
I love that confidence. How about you?
For me, I didn't see everybody yet, so if I see somebody who does have something, I'm confident like that we're going to get up there, but we still have some learning and stuff to do it.
Okay. I like that you're cautious but optimistic. That's the way to be. That's how winners roll. And so we are looking for big things from XPG. Thank you so much for taking time out to speak with us. And stay tuned.
At the Ocean Bowl Games, students explore STEM expos led by our esteemed partners, giving them hands-on exposure to real careers and opportunities. As they visit each expo, they earn badges that convert to points, from interactive labs to experiences like learning labs and escape rooms. Learning, discovery, and fun, powered by STEAM.
There'll be some highlighted boxes. You want any of them to start moving around with your fingers? So, now we're going to do some math together, guys. You guys can do this in your head. You're not getting the calculator. 165 plus 80. Someone tell me what that is. 245. You're not a mathematician. Minus 10. 235. 235. Minus 38. You guys got this. Yeah. 197. There we go. 197. Perfect, guys. So now we know what our new goal is for
I have heard of escape rooms with many themes: haunted mansion, creepy dungeon, but never one that is health affiliated. But you find something new every day at Ocean Bowl Games. So this escape room is called the Breakaway Box Body Systems, and I just watched a gaggle of excited kids figure out how to bring down someone's glucose. It's their glucose because they were a diabetic patient. So it involved math. It involved a little bit of augmented reality. All the things that you want to see in a STEAM program. A little bit of art because there's graphics and a robot and teamwork. So the class had to come together, work together, and solve it, and hopefully they learned a little bit about diabetes and diabetes management. But I tell you, the energy when they got down to the wire and they beat that time and got that code in, woo! Like, I wish I could bottle that type of energy and just sell it, like just for us elders. Like, I need that type. Like, instead of just drinking all the Coca-Cola and all the sugar I just ate, I could just bottle that. But that will probably give me the diabetes that will bring me back into this escape room. So now maybe I shouldn't do that. But a lesson was learned here and fun was had.
More about your experience at Ocean Bowl Games 2025 this year.
This is amazing. I mean, we are so impressed at everything they've done, and the kids are great. Like, they come over, they're respectful,
Right.
and they're having a great time doing all our stuff. Because this is one of our mid-fidelity mannequins.
Mm-hmm.
They listen to heart rate, they can listen to the lungs, and then we have our sound trainers, which they can listen to vomiting, which is always fun for kids, right?
Wow.
And so yeah, it sort of introduces them at the beginning, kind of stuff we do.
Mm-hmm. And last but not least, what's your word to parents to get their kids more involved and aware of STEM and careers like nursing?
Get out there and encourage them. I mean, we want to have them get up here. I mean, we have a nursing shortage.
Right.
So let's get them in here. Let's get them to, and the thing about nursing, which we do a lot, you can do anything.
Right.
We have technology, we have school nursing, we have research nursing, we have in the hospital nursing. Education, which
Right.
we do.
Right.
So it is a field that you can do anything you want to do.
Amazing.
And so that's the beauty of it.
Well, we thank you so much for being here. We're so excited the University at Shady Grove is hosting us this year. Stay tuned for more. Check their website for feedback, and shout out to Steam Your Dreams and Creative Mindset Productions for the wonderful work they're doing here at University at Shady Grove Ocean Bowl Games 2025.
We're here in the exhibit area of Ocean Bowl Games, where there is a whole bunch of STEAM-based fun here. So right now you see a bunch of our kids playing with Legos and some straw-like figures making creations. And you might say, what does that have to do with STEAM? It has a lot to do because engineering, you're building, you're creating. So I'm actually here with Phil, who's going to walk us through the purpose of this exhibit.
Well, the purpose of the exhibit is, as you said, to get the kids into particularly engineering and problem solving. I've spoken to many, many engineers over the years who say their gateway into science and engineering was Legos and building toys like these. So I brought some here, and I laid out, I don't bring the sets where you have instructions. I want the kids to use their imagination, because that's another key component of STEM is your imagination. And kids are natural builders. People don't think so. They think sometimes you have to teach them, but you don't need to teach them how to build. You just give them some things to do, they do it, and they come up with some amazing things.
You heard it here first. All you have to do is just give a child the space to create, and you'll get amazing things.
Today, we're at University at Shady Grove for Ocean Bowl Games 2025. I'm your shoutcaster, Howard Arjan. Today, we have the wonderful, incredible Fulton Bank sponsoring for the second year. Hello.
Hello.
Please tell us, how's it had your experience been for the second year with Ocean Bowl Games at
This has
University?
been awesome.
Yeah.
Like, so 2 weeks ago we were in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're at the Universities of Shady Grove. Awesome space. I'm excited just to be here, to see the kids here from Montgomery County participating. The engagement really smart.
Yeah.
Really smart kids.
So tell me, you're giving away some really cool things, some tools, some teaching tools.
Yeah.
What is this about, and what's the importance to the youth?
So this particular book right here is just a coloring book that's really going to teach our young people about saving money, different tips on things that they can do to learn different vocabulary terms and things of that nature. Have some fun while they're learning about money.
Yeah, and tell us what you're doing in the community, because I know you're a big wig. She's the vice president. So tell us what you do at Fulton Bank and how you all support the community.
Yes, I am the community outreach officer for Fulton Bank, and the work that I do is really to push our Fulton Forward initiative into the community.
Okay.
We have 4 pillars that we focus on: affordable housing and home ownership, job training and workforce development, financial education, and economic empowerment.
Wonderful.
And so we do all of this work really to connect with our underserved communities, really helping them to gain those financial skills, create that legacy and plan for themselves, making sure that our young people and our older people are saving money, right? So we talk a lot about savings, and we do all this work really to change lives for the better.
That's great.
Yeah.
And lastly, how can we get in contact with you and your bank so we can have you at other events around the community?
Well, you guys can reach out to me directly, dwaldronmcneil@fultonbank.com.
All right, well, thank you for being here.
Yes.
Again, we have an amazing time at the beautiful University at Shady Grove in Rockville, Maryland, supported by Steam Your Dreams Ocean Bowl Games 2025. Check us out online, Steam XR Sports, for all the footage, and you'll see Dion herself engaging with the students. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on our next shout out.
Employers have been kind of disappointed with recent graduates, not because of their technical skills, but because of the career readiness, or what they used to call soft skills, that they're lacking. Not being able to communicate effectively, not being able to work in teams or work with diverse groups of people. These little things that are hard to learn in a classroom. And so the question became, how do you help solve this problem? And so one of the ways we came up with this pathway program, where we work with students, again, starting at 16 years old, help them, one, learn about the different pathways, so computer science, mechanical engineering, or biotechnology. We call it translational life science technology. And then along the way, give them experiential learning opportunities, internships, opportunities to do research projects, things like that, so they can practice and grow along the way as they earn their academic skills, that they normally already have. It's the other skills that kind of get lost in the shuffle. So we're just trying to make sure that by the time they graduate, that they're not just going out into the world with a degree, but that they're career ready. Now, the only prerequisite is that we have an agreement with I'm in Baltimore City. We have a agreement with Montgomery County Public Schools.
Okay.
So students who join in high school or under 18 must be Montgomery County Public School students. But we also accept students from community colleges. So right now that is mainly Montgomery College, but we are spreading to places like Frederick Community College, Howard Community College. So if you're in high school right now, the prerequisite is you have to be an MCPS student. But if you're not in high school, as long as you are interested in transferring here, because that's one thing about this university, this campus, everyone here is a transfer student for their last 2 years of college. You can get your associate's degree anywhere you want, and then come here for your major courses. And then, I don't know if you can see this, but this is a big deal that we try to make sure our students understand. This is if you were to go to, let's say, UMD for 4 years, and at $100-something thousand. And if you were to go here, you go to community college first, 2 years transfer, you're paying a fraction of what someone who goes to live on campus would pay. And it's the same exact degree. It does not say Shady Grove on it. It would say UMBC on it, just like the students who go in Catonsville.
So there you have it. If you are a STEAM candidate and you want to learn the soft skills like communication, which is really key, working with teams, this is the place to go. And on top of that, you will save yourself a pretty penny because you're going to be a transfer student and you'll finish your degree here and it won't say anything less than University of Maryland. So this is a very viable program that if you're in the area and you're 16 and looking to go to college, you might want to check this out.
Hi, this is Roman Sudan. I am the founder of Steam Your Dreams. I'm here with Wanderly. Can you tell us more about you? And I asked you a wonderful question just a few minutes ago. Can you explain to me, what was your journey like as a 10-year-old to get to the point of working with fermentation science?
So I was answering you. So since I was a kid, I mean, when I was a kid, I was very interested in understanding the science behind things. I remember seeing my mom like putting all the ingredients to make a cake, and then that cake would turn out so good. So I was like, okay, so why, like, what's happening here? Like, why, if I combine flour with egg, like, why do I get that cake?
Talk to us a little bit more about why fermentation is important to know it. Talk to us about things we probably didn't even know about. For instance, AstraZeneca is a partner pharmaceutical. They develop vaccines, and this wonderful infographic you have here. I'll just kind of hold it up.
Okay. All right. So basically, fermentation science is the study of all the biochemical processes you would use microorganisms such as yeast and bacteria to produce valuable products, such as we have here in this chart. Beverages such as beer, wine, kimchi, fermented vegetable foods. But also, a lot of times people think that fermentation is just food, but it's not just food. So vaccines, insulin, so you have to actually use the fermentation technique to produce those products as well. So fermentation is a big area, especially now that a lot of people have been, maybe they have some sort of dietary restriction, so they don't want to consume any, or gluten-free, or if they don't want to consume animal proteins, for example.
Vegan.
Yeah, they want to. So there are ways that you can produce products using vegetable resources through fermentation, so that we can actually replace animal proteins. They were coming to the table, and I had this picture here of a pepperoni pizza, and what I asked them was, which food
Gave my notice that day, and I remember my director, she's like, well, let's talk about this, and let's see, what are some options. And I told her about the conversation in the elevator. She started crying. She started crying. And so afterwards, I called my husband and I said, I gave my notice. And this was almost the everyday conversation we had. And I was like, I'm very serious. This time it's real. It's for real. Yeah. And he was so excited. And so for me, then I left in October. I went to the show. I left in October, and I was depressed after.
You're like, oh my God, I missed my job.
Depressed. And not necessarily that I missed it, but what you talked about, I missed the structure.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, I could do anything I wanted to do, and I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Movies, like Netflix and chill all day.
I could do anything. And so I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so like for the first 2 months, I really just chilled and I processed what had just happened. And then I started just going to events, like whatever events I could find, I would go to.
Okay.
I started networking. I started going to things where they talked about, come to this seminar and learn about funding your ideas, learn about how to write a proposal, learn about how to win a grant, come out and meet other people. And so I started going to things like that. And at that point, I was not clear about what the Spotlight DMV was going to be. I was even nervous to go out in public to talk about it because I'm like, I sound crazy. Like, I don't even know how to answer. Like, you go in and they want to know, what do you do and what services do you offer? I was like, I don't know yet, But what I will say is that even though I did feel embarrassed sometimes to be in those rooms, because I didn't think that I was to a point where I could even be presenting this to people, this is the point of being in those rooms.
Yeah.
Because the more that you talk about your ideas and the more that you meet other people, you'll be able to get some clarity. You'll be able to get some structure around what you're doing. And so I found that very, very helpful for me to be around other people that were maybe even just 10 steps ahead of me,
Mhm.
you know, and they would offer to me what they did and how they were able to do things. But what I will say is a part of what you said,
Mhm.
having that schedule was
Schedule.
so important because those 2 months when I was just doing, I was just chilling and trying to process, it left me in a place where I kind of didn't want to do anything, but I was like, no, you got to get out there and not to look for a job, just
Connect to network.
yes,
Mhm.
connecting and networking. And so let's talk about that because I know that you are a master. I'm calling you a master, but it's because you are in a lot of spaces
Mhm.
and being in those spaces really helps you to be able to connect with other people.
Yeah.
So what are some things that people could do as far as networking and putting themselves out there?
It's something I started doing recently. I think I mentioned it to you. Toastmasters.
Yeah.
I started doing Toastmasters about a year and some change ago. After I started, I was so angry at myself. Like, why haven't I been doing this since? Imagine if
Mhm.
I've been going to Toastmasters since I was 21 or 25. Because at Toastmasters, everybody in there is taking an hour and a half to 2 hours of your time to come improve themselves. So everybody in that room
Yeah.
is a certain kind of person. They're trying to improve themselves. Those are the people you need to be around
Mhm. Mhm.
because it's like iron sharpen iron. You want to be in that with that energy because you're tapping in from their energy. You're giving your energy. They're
Yep.
giving ideas. Like I met a kid. He's not a kid. He's a young guy though, and his goal is he wants to be on TEDx. He's like 20 something years old. He wants to be on TEDx and he wants to give a speech on TEDx. So I'm grown and he's motivated me. I'm thinking like, wow, he wants to be on TEDx. They have professors there, they have physicians there, they have attorneys, they have all kinds of people there. But the most important thing is they're all trying to improve themselves. Those are the rooms you need to be around. Then after the class, you exchange business cards and you might meet a lawyer, you just connected. And that's just one thing. I just that. Then go for networking events and the chambers, of course.
Yeah.
The chambers is awesome, man.
Well, so there is a monthly networking opportunity
Yeah.
that is
Free.
free. And to that point,
Mhm.
that was something that
This happened.
this is how this happened
Yeah.
exactly. And for me, when I did go to the very first
Mhm.
one, that was December of 2023,
Huh?
and I found it so valuable that
Yeah.
I ended up joining and becoming a
Member.
member. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I like what you're saying about being in a space where people are trying to improve themselves. Because I know we're talking about jobs,
Mhm.
but this is life, y'all. We have one life to live.
Mhm.
And I feel like that is what was my wake up call.
Mhm.
It's like, there's no more time to be sitting here and waiting for permission for somebody to tell you that it's okay
Mhm.
to do what it is that you're dreaming of or what you feel is your purpose or what you feel like you're being called to.
Yeah.
And in 2020, I just had a huge wake up call, a calling that was like, you need to be out here and helping people tell their stories.
Mm.
And I had always been in the publishing industry, but I was not a writer. I was not a storyteller. But being at my last organization,
Mhm.
I got to be in spaces where I was helping them with the members telling their stories and making sure that the stories got in front of an audience and that people knew what was going on in that industry. And so a part of what I was then able to do, because as I said, I didn't know what I was going to do next. I didn't want to be in publishing in the same manner.
Mhm.
I was mostly print production and I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to do something that was more creative
Mhm.
in getting the stories out. And I just didn't know how to approach it. And so I was able to think back on my time at that organization was so well spent. And it was a time of learning for me. I
Mhm.
was there 11 years and I was able to help them start a podcast, launch it, and grow it. I was able to work on the audience.
And that knowledge from that is what you used to apply to.
Exactly. And so that was the piece of how I also prepared for what was next. Once I started going out and people would ask me about my work and what do I do, and I would talk about, I have this platform where you could come and tell your story. And, I do a lot of work on social media. And now all of a sudden people are like, oh, well, can you help me with my social media? Can you help me with my story? How can I get my story out there? What are some of the things that I need to do? So I think that's a big piece of it as well,
Yeah.
moving into that next step. What skills can you take and offer to help someone else? And a part of what I also had to do was I had to serve, like you said, I didn't just come in the door and all of a sudden I'm making money. I had to serve and show people the value of these skills that I'm bringing. And so what are some of the skills that you had to be able to transfer from nursing or whatever other rooms that you were in?
Like customer service, dealing with people. Since I worked in the medical field, I was always dealing with people. So my people skills,
Yeah.
I was able to bring that into real estate. Then I was able to use the network because I've been in the medical fields for like 2 decades. So what ended up happening, so all those people I met all over the years helped me a lot in terms of networking. Like me and you, for example. I know a sister. A sister used to work with me at Holy Cross Hospital. So she kind of connected us, even though we met again at the
Coffee
Chambers.
connections,
Yeah,
yes.
at the Chambers. So you see, so I used that network of all those, but I worked at Howard University Hospital. So it was a lot of medical students. And those medical students then, now physicians now. So a lot of them are contacting me because, we follow each other on LinkedIn, we follow each other on Facebook, and they follow me and they see that I'm, very passionate about real estate. So they come back and they contact me like, hey, I have this property in Baltimore I'm trying to sell, or I have this property I'm trying to buy. They know I'm an expert in this, so they reach out to me.
Yeah.
So those connections were important, and they're very helpful. So, so think about doing that.
Yeah.
But definitely networking. Networking is so important.
Yeah. And
So
managing
important.
the relationships, like
Yeah.
you're saying, because it's and you touched on that the last time too. It's one thing to meet people, but then to also manage the relationships. And when you're out networking, it's very, like, I know so many people.
Yeah.
And so it is kind of difficult to manage one-on-one all the time. But that's why I do like the networking events, because it's like I get to see these people that I get to see the folks that I'm in it with, come to this event and let's catch up and let's see what you're working on and how we can help each other out. And so that's another takeaway, the relationship management. And then also you mentioned about making a Graham movement. And I think that is a huge thing, moving
action.
before you feel ready. Because we're in a time right now where a lot of people, they talk about how they feel. And, I don't feel like this, or I don't feel like that. And sometimes you just have to do, regardless of how you feel. Because I promise you, as I mentioned before, there were so many times where I was going to something and I'm intimidated. I don't know if I belong in the room. Do I have anything to offer of value? I don't feel like this person that I want people to see me as yet. But I went and I came back and I was like, wow, I'm so glad that I went to that. Because had I not gone, I would have never received the information that I received, or there's some person that I met that helped take me to another level, or, gave me an idea, or just anything. And so I really had to push myself, because listen, you give me a chance to be like, well, no, maybe you should think about, okay. And so that mindset shift for me had to really, it didn't happen overnight.
Yeah, it takes time.
It takes
It's difficult.
time. Yeah.
It's very difficult. Yeah, you have to fight. Like I have to fight every day. Taking massive action. Like my goals are so lofty
Mm-hmm.
that I have to make moves. Like my goals, you know, million families and million homes, being the best real estate agent in the whole country. So I have to make moves. I have to be meeting people constantly. I have to meet people and not only meet people, I have to follow up with people.
Mm-hmm.
I have to make them remember me. Because what's the point of meeting the president of WUSA today and you just don't see him again? Like you have to meet him, get his information, follow up with him, make sure he remembers you. And what I tell people, especially my new agents who work for me, that's why the importance of creating content.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's say you meet somebody and you add them in your social media, like LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram, if they don't see you again, they probably forget you.
Yeah.
But if you're constantly creating content and they keep kind of seeing you, like some people will say, oh, I met you 2 years ago, but I see you on my timeline all the time. And anytime I think about real estate, I think about you because you're constantly making movements. You should always take action.
Yeah. And you know, that's happened to me before, which it just kind of makes me laugh because it's such a weird feeling because I talk about, you know, Prince George's County.
Yeah.
And so I've had people come up to me before and they're like, oh, you know, I've seen your content. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, yeah. But, you know, I love that people are finding it helpful and the information is useful to them. And so talk about some of the things that you have said for 2026 that you are going to concentrate on, some of those movements. And I know we're talking about making big movements. Sometimes the movements are small, right? And so what are some movements for 2026 that you're working on?
I feel like I'm going to keep on strengthening the things I'm doing already. Like my home buying seminars, I have it every month, trying to get more people to come. It's difficult to get people to come out, especially for education. For networking events, they'll come. But education, getting more people to come out, also spreading. Like you, I do a lot of in PG County. But what I've been doing for the past month and a half, I've been branching out to Montgomery County, hitting the malls in that part of town, spending about an hour in each mall, connecting with new people, meeting new people. Because especially in my business, or just any kind of business, the people are the ones that are going to bring you the money.
Yeah.
They're going to help you get great. They're the ones who are going to get you in rooms that, you know, you can't get. So like recently, I was in a mall. I met this lady and she took me to the Bethesda Chamber of Commerce events. So I went to the Bethesda Chamber of Commerce events and I'm meeting different people like this, totally different from, you know, the PG County.
Yeah.
I've been just focused on PG County for the past, you know, 5-6 years. So you're just making little moves like that is what I've been.
Yeah, and I think that's important to because the DMV area is a really big area.
6 million people.
6 million people.
I tell you, 6 million people. You know, my goal is to put 1 million family in 1 million homes. So at first I used to think the whole country. Then I was just like, yeah, I could do the whole country too. But I wanted to find out my numbers for the DMV. And there's 6 million people in the DMV. And every month, 70,000 people move.
Wow.
70,000 people move in the DMV. Every month in Maryland, 5,000 people buy homes. So like the reason I'm telling you all these numbers is there's opportunity.
Yes.
Here. Like I don't have to go to New York. Like the DMV has all these people that we could take, you know, we could help with real estate, we could help with whatever kind of business you're into.
You know, and I think that is the biggest takeaway from this conversation today is that there is opportunity and sometimes, you know, you're going to be forced into it. You're not going to have the choice to say that I choose this and I choose that. It's going to be a decision that is made for you.
Yeah.
And so what are you going to do? What is going to be your response? And so our conversation today, we've talked about making sure that you are prepared financially. And I know we don't always know when we're going to be impacted. You know, like in my story, I didn't know that in 2021, when I wanted to sell my house to get rid of debt, I didn't know that I was going to be wanting to walk away from my job with nothing lined up. But
at that time, I was very focused on being financially literate. And so through that obsession, because it was an obsession,
Yeah.
I was able to prepare that way. And then we talked about auditing your skills. What skills do you have that can transfer over to somebody else, to something else, to another industry, to other services that can support other businesses or other people? And then we also talked about making a move before you're ready. You're not going to always feel like you're ready. I didn't feel like I was ready. You didn't feel like you were ready.
No.
Yeah. And so being open to making moves before you're ready. And then finally, we talked about building discipline. No, still operating like you have a 9 to 5 and scheduling things in, scheduling your lunch, scheduling when you're sending out emails, scheduling phone calls, scheduling when you're going to be out and about networking, having some sort of structure around what you are doing, around what you are building, around what you are creating. Because what I have learned is that sometimes the job ending, it's not a punishment, you know, it's a repositioning.
Yeah, it is. Thought it was like a punishment when it happened to me. Like you said, what was in positioning?
And what that next thing may look like may not be what you were thinking. So guys, be open to what you can create, you know, dream big and write down those dreams. When I was doing the Spotlight, because it started in 2021 before I left my job, I never dreamed of being able to be out in different businesses, interviewing the biggest real estate expert in the DMV, you know, but look at God, right? And so before we wrap, Eze, share with us some of the things that you have coming up next.
I have a home buying seminar on February 28, 2026, the last Saturday of the month. I usually have them the last Saturday of every month, where I give free information about home buying. I have a credit repair specialist there that talks about credit repair. I have my loan officer there speaking about loans. I have a real estate lawyer right there to answer any questions you have.
Okay. All right, great. And then remind us where we can find you on social media.
Yeah, I'm all over the place. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Oh, what else? I'm on everything under the name Eze Okwodu. Or you can check out the Easy Way. Hashtag the Easy Way.
And I'll make sure that I have all that information linked, and I'll make sure that I share the flyer for the seminar. My sister went to the last one, and she said, she found it very useful. She said it was really good information, and she enjoyed hearing from some of the folks that you brought in to speak. And so, guys, you know, make sure you're following Eze. And if this conversation is resonating with you, make sure you stay locked in for new episodes of The Eze Way that drop every fourth Wednesday on the Spotlight DMV. You don't want to miss what we're going to be unpacking next. And so, again, you may not know what's next. You may feel lost. You may feel uncertain. And this season, as uncomfortable as it is, you are rebuilding. You can rebuild. And this is the easy way to do it. We'll see you next time.
Art it's like I could sit here and give you a soliloquy of why art is so this and so that.
It is.
But art transports you. It's like you don't need your mouth, and you don't necessarily need your brain for art, because once you look at something, your brain and your heart are going to do something.
Process.
And so, just allowing yourself that space to enjoy and connect. I mean, because artists are basically drawing everything they think of and feel. And at some point, it's going to resonate with somebody else. And so, and then your right brain, the people think that there's a difference between artists and creators are right-brained people. Yes,
Yeah,
we're
we are.
different. We're okay. And so, but people who collect art are also using the right side of the brain. There's some left side brain folks that ain't even thinking about art, don't have nothing on their wall, and have no plans to get nothing. And so
Oh,
recognizing it as a collector that you're using some of your right brain, that's why you're stimulated with it, whether you can draw or not.
mhm,
My whole business survives on that demographic of people.
mhm.
Because there's some
Like,
folk that don't give a hell about art.
mm,
It ain't a priority. And they teach their kids it's not a priority. And you've
hmm.
been in some of their houses. They ain't got nothing on the wall.
Yeah, that's
Except for
interesting.
family
And
photos. Family photos, that's it.
yeah, um, I would have to agree. And it just goes, why don't you put something on the wall?
Well, because you're right brained, that's going to be your first question. But if they're left brained, they're not going to understand where the question came from.
Mm-hmm.
They got a nice car in the driveway. They got a nice house to sit in. They got nice furniture. They got nice TVs and stuff. But then it disconnects after that. And they dress to the nines. They got all the popular clothes. They got jewelry. They got phones, the latest phone, everything else. What happens when you got all that stuff and your wall's still blank? That means you don't have a spirit. That's what it means.
Not no spirit. It's like when you go in people's homes and they don't have books. I'm like, you don't have any books in here. Because I like books, but I like it all. Anything creative.
You learn a lot by what people collect.
Yeah.
And my mom used to say everybody should collect something.
Did she have something she collected?
She did black any kind of doll babies. My
I was
sister
gonna say
has
the
most of
doll.
them. She
Yeah.
got me collecting stamps when I was younger. Then
Yeah,
coins for a while.
Yep.
Then stamps for a while. So
Yep.
but that's but I have a personal collection of artists. You would think I was on crack.
Oh wow.
Of work that I don't own. These are works by other artists. I have about 500 pieces by other artists.
Do you have it all framed or is it
No,
stored?
most of it's flat filed. Most of it's in. I got briefcases. I got suitcases. I got art storage things. They kind of look. Let's see, give you an example of what one looks like. All right, this is the book that I just did. I'm doing now for my quarantine. So everything in this book. I'll try to see if I can raise that up. Everything in this book has been created.
In the last 80 days? I mean 14 days?
I filled this whole book up with original pieces.
Oh wow.
And so a lot of my personal collection is
Oh
done
wow.
like it's stored like this.
Y'all see this? We are privy to something that hasn't even been seen yet.
Yeah, these are
Oh wow, I like that.
all these are new pieces that I just did.
Oh, I
So
love that right there.
that's one of my dad's pieces that I finished to the right.
Right here, the one where your hand was on it?
Yeah, this one right here.
Oh no,
So
the
in my
other one.
work,
That's
a lot of
nice
times
too.
I use my dad's work. A lot of my paper my dad made. He's left me like 500 sheets of paper when he passed. And so a
Oh
lot of
wow.
times I use those as the base of a lot of my new pieces. But I've
Oh,
been
I love an
exploring
abstract.
abstracts. Yeah,
I
I've been
love
exploring
abstract.
that because I didn't do that for a long time.
I
I'm
have a
having a lot
piece
of
of
fun
your
with those.
abstract. It's very nice.
So all of these pieces here have been pieces
Oh
that one just
wow.
sold. Get ready to
Oh, I
send that.
love her hair. Oh wow.
Yeah, that one just sold. This is another one that my dad partially finished, and I went and did the finishing touches on it.
How is
These are
it sold if you just made it?
because it just got purchased last week and I haven't shipped it yet.
So if it's in the quarantine, is it on your website for us to buy already?
Everything that I do on my quarantine in this book is already on my website. Part of that
Oh,
is I
I
do
was
the
on your
work,
website. I didn't.
upload it, go to the original section, you'll see all of the new stuff.
Okay.
LarryPonchoBrown.net, LarryPonchoBrown.net. And
I'm
so,
gonna
yeah, this
go
is a
right
good,
now.
these are all new pieces.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, I
Just to
see a
give you an
few pieces I
idea,
like.
and this is a collaboration with me and another artist named Deborah Shedrick. She had this male figure, and then I added a female figure in there.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so I forget how many pieces will fit in a book like this, but I have 4 full books of small original pieces, and all of them are online.
So for those of us who are not art savvy, if we have pieces like that, we should have them in something like that.
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I am a flat file collector, which means that I don't buy stuff to go on my walls anymore. Every wall space that I'm physically near is full and will be full. I
Mm-hmm.
would have to have a serious ass mansion to
Mm-hmm.
hang everything that I own.
Okay.
And so some things you're buying for investment purposes, like my son, he is going to inherit, imagine, my work, my father's work, his mother's work, and my work. That's a
And your
lot. And my
collection.
personal collection. It's a lot of work for one person. I kind of feel sorry for him, but hey, he'll work it out. Buy a whole lot of cocaine
So
with that.
so so do you have your art appraised, your collection
It's
appraised, or you
impossible for a person like me to have everything they own appraised.
okay.
Artists, when you create and you're prolific, half time artists ain't even documenting their stuff. They're just creating it
Mm-hmm.
and accumulating it and showing it and selling it, and they don't even have a record. I'm anal. I have lists of everything I ever done and wherever it's sold, and so it's a whole production. But even with
Mm-hmm.
that, I can't keep up with everything that I do. I've done thousands and thousands of pieces. It's hard to keep up with that.
Wow.
So no, very few artists have their work insured properly or appraised properly.
Mm-hmm.
It's just see appraisal persons for like 1, 2, 10 pieces, 20 pieces, major
Yeah.
collections.
Yeah.
Most folks saying they mad to pay for their car insurance, let alone coming up with an insurance to cover their artwork. Now, you got your homeowners insurance, you got your different things you can do. You can do riders on certain collections and stuff at the house. So some people are already doing it. But when
Mm-hmm.
you're doing it to the degree that I'm doing it,
Yeah.
the rules change. Because
Yeah.
if I had to insure everything I have for the retail value that is stated for, I would not be able to afford the insurance. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I could get a
Mm-hmm.
blanket of coverage to protect me against damage.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of savvy things you can do, but that's another whole thing after you've decided that you're going to be a collector. Because once you collect 3 pieces, you're a collector.
Yeah,
But
and I
once you
try to keep. Yes, you're
and
right.
then
I
the
said
next question
3. I
is
don't want more than 3.
and if it's for you, then you ain't saying nothing because you're just holding on to it. One of your
Mhm.
kids gonna end up these pieces, or the trash container, or a storage container. It's
Well, you
going to
told me
end up
don't
with
put
those
my
pieces.
stuff in storage. When I asked you, you
My
were like,
my advice
"Don't
to
do it."
anyone is that the storage should be your last choice for art.
Yeah. And then it was so timely that you said that because I brought it all with me, and the storage, all of my stuff got ruined.
Well, whether it got ruined, whether you get
Yeah.
tied up in your life and you lose. My father died, and then I had to deal with his funerary plans. I had to deal
Mm-hmm.
with his property, and
Mm-hmm.
then I was oh shit, I didn't pay the storage. I lost a whole 10 by 30 storage container when I called that day. They had just sold that container the day before.
Wow.
If it'll happen to me, it'll happen to anybody. It's going, but people don't look at the fact you can get hurt, you can get sidetracked for a week, you could be sick, and if you're not keeping track of all your bills, yeah, a storage container can go fast. And I can't tell
Yeah.
you the amount of times people have called me secondhand that have acquired a storage container, and I know where the work came from when they show me the work. And I've had that happen probably more as time goes on. I'm getting more and more calls from people who bought storage containers.
And it has not your work.
Yeah,
Oh, of a collector of yours.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. I've sent you stuff and I said, "Hey, they're using your stuff." You're like, "I can't even keep up with it." Because I saw it on something. And I was
Well, I
like,
mean, people don't understand copyrights usage and the whole online environment. As fast as long as we've been on the internet and all that, the rules still
Mhm.
haven't caught up with what people can do. People
Mhm.
can use my pictures for profile images on their page. I don't have a problem with that. I mean,
Yeah.
I used to watermark my stuff so people couldn't use it. Now that we got AI, watermarks mean nothing.
Mm.
AI is a mixture of everything I have online and everything else everybody else got online. So
Mhm.
there's pluses and negatives to all of it, but it's just understanding how it works.
Mhm.
I
So
don't
what's
go.
next? What's next in the world of Poncho?
I can't determine that. I try to create and let it flow naturally. I don't predict what I'm going to do next. I just know that I ain't bored yet.
Okay.
You know, you've been doing this for 46 years, and people
Mhm.
wonder, well, what do the ideas keep coming? That I don't know where they come from. Thank God for that. If I sat down and figured that out, I probably would have a nervous breakdown. I just stay working.
Not a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, because sometimes people go through burnouts and all kinds of other stuff. I've
Mhm.
never actually experienced any of that stuff. I have been depressive to the point where I moved away from art for a little bit after my fire. But you know, that's an ebb and flow. It's just like a faith in
Mhm.
religion. You got to keep on building and working on your faith.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
So, as you've been in your career and in your field, like you said, 40 plus years, and when you think about, and you mentioned, when you were younger, you would have bought a building, and so going forward, do you see yourself slowing down? Do you see yourself taking on like new adventures in your career? What do you have any of that going,
I'm going through
or
some of
am
that
I just
now.
going to coast
No,
on out?
I'm going to do some of that now. I mean, every artist can paint till they die, and
Mhm.
so there ain't no
I'll be here
retirement for
till I
me.
die. Yeah.
You know, and I rest when I die. You know, there's too many opportunities out there for a person of my persuasion with the amount of years that I have in the business that are fortifying. So I'm just trying to simplify and move smarter, not harder. But I'm also at a point where I don't have to do some of the things other artists have to do to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And spending a lot of time trying to train artists on how to better approach doing certain aspects of the business. I made a lot of mistakes. I share those mistakes with other artists.
Hmm. Hmm. What's the biggest mistake you ever made?
Underestimating my worth.
Why is that just a thing in the creative space?
No, it's a
It's
thing,
in my
period.
field as
No,
well.
it's a
Hmm.
thing. It's a thing, period. You know, you
Hmm.
grind, you're out there, you prove to yourself. After a while, you have these internal questions that come up. And so, no, I get it. But that's, knowing what your worth is something that I think you're supposed to be acquiring and asking those questions as you get older anyway.
Hmm.
So it comes when it's supposed to come. Because I was in a
Hmm.
grind stage. I'm not in a grind stage anymore. And it took me a while to say, Poncho, you're no longer in a grind stage. What you gonna do with that?
Hmm.
What
Yeah,
does
because
that
that's
mean?
kind of.
What does that mean? What does that look like? I mean, if you're not grinding now, what are you doing? What are you trying to do? And so
Hmm.
I'm trying to give. Um, I'm trying to. I'm on a legacy portion of my career right now.
Hmm.
That's the best way I can describe it. So I'm giving back in ways that I think are sufficient for what was given to me.
That's all right.
I was watching when Denzel Washington. I am not Denzel Washington by any stretch of the imagination, but he said the first stage of his career was learned, second stage was earned, third stage was return, and that was
I
probably
like
the
it.
one thing that really resonated with me in this stage of my career is that I'm on the return side. I'm on the legacy side. The book was
Hmm.
part of that. I'm working on a film that's going to be part of that. I was diagnosed with cancer in 2016. They said if I didn't get treatment, I'd be gone in 10 years. Well, this is my 10th year. To hell
Oh
with
wow.
all of them. I still got things I got to do and want to do. I did many projects last year that were above my pay grade, that were major projects that I had never done before.
Hmm.
And now those types of opportunities are presenting themselves, and I'm creating those opportunities. So, no, I'm staying fulfilled and empowered and just doing what the creator gave me.
Right, and that's crazy. You said you're in the legacy stage of it because that was like my closing question was about um if a young artist from Baltimore was watching you right now, someone feels unseen or unsure, what would you want them to know?
Get off your ass. That's the first thing. And you're not as good as you think you are. And you think too much. And
Okay.
so you need to take stock and inventory on what you create.
Hmm.
Thinking is not creating. Thinking is like a fart in the wind if you don't bring it to fruition. And
Mm.
so we're all distracted in this multiple phase of thinking and processing, and we're not realizing we're just walking zombies. We're not actually producing anything. And
Mm.
younger artists have so many distractions with phones and the internet and the X and the Y and the Z and the influences around them that directly affects your creative energy. And
Hmm.
sometimes you have to be able to kind of
Unplug.
unplug, and that's what the quarantine is. And my phone's not ringing. I'm not using the internet. I'm not watching TV. I'm not being influenced by other folks. And I think sometimes as artists, we need to be able to step away and do that.
Wow.
But for young artists, no, the game is stacked. There's more artists working now than any other time in history. And the internet has been the place where they've had a place to be seen. But learning the art business is still essential. And there's still no books written on the art business. So you better start slow, come out of your shell, meet as many artists as you can. Artists always share information. And make sure you're being prolific. If you're not painting, then stop playing. Don't talk to me if you say you did 12 pieces last year. I'm not talking about quantity, but you're telling me you did 12 paintings in 365 days in a year? And you think that's valuable?
What should I shoot for? What should I shoot for?
Whatever you're doing. If you're doing one a month, you are not doing it. And when I talk to artists, one of the first questions I ask them that they don't see coming is how many pieces did you create in 2025? And they're going to lie. They're going to up it. If they said 20, that means they did 10.
Oh, wow.
And then I'm going to say 10 pieces out of 365 days in a year. So what are you saying to me? So that's my advice to artists is work harder. Repetition. That is how you get better. You don't find a style. The style finds you. You find those things out by working through them. You don't find them by thinking through them. You do 3 paintings, you sign one, you learn on the next 2. You don't try to sit down and make sure that piece is doing everything. No, we're doing this micro creating, and it's not beneficial. And that means I look at artist portfolios. Portfolio hasn't grown in 3-4 years. Your work should be growing every year.
That's a whole nother perspective. Wow.
So it's another whole set of circumstances. But for a young artist, my biggest advice is get off your ass and get busy.
So in closing, is there anything you would want potential collectors, clients, customers, fellow artists to know that we don't know?
No, I don't think so. Because each one of them is distinctly different. And I stay focused on not keying into any of those individual things. That's how I stay humble. I don't worry about what collectors think, what gallerists think, what artists think. I kind of maintain what I believe and share it with as many people that can benefit. Everybody's not going to see things the way I do, but I also have a track record that is unproven. I mean, it's been proven. And so you either trust the information that I'm imparting to you or you don't. I've already done it, so I know it works. It's just a matter of whether you trust it. And I'm seeing the fruits of my labor now with artists and how they're developing their careers. And that's all I'm really, and so that's what moves me at this point in my career, is helping other artists.
I totally agree. So I just want to say thank you, Poncho, for sharing your journey, your truth, and your artistry with us. Your story reminds us that art is not just created, it's lived, and you got to live in the art that you create. So
fantastic. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the time, and keep on doing.
And I'm getting ready to check out that quarantine. I didn't know it was already up. I was in the wrong part of the website.
Now just go to the original section at larryponchabrown.net if you want to see what's going on. And also you can see me on socials on that. I'm on Instagram, on TikTok, I'm on Facebook, a couple of others, but you can see the current work on those sites.
larryponchobrown.net.
That's right.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome, dear. Take care now.
All right.